I think one of the easiest things you can do in this 055 class is actually add a couple of complex numbers, okay, those involving the letter I. Now, when you just add them, now remember the previous thing I was talking about, an I times an I is an I squared, which will turn into a -1. Well, here you're just adding things. You're adding like terms. You can think of these i's as x's. You know, 2x and 3x is 5x. 2i and 3i is 5i. That's all it is. So if we look at this, what's 2 plus 9? It's 11. All right. What's -4 plus 8i? So -4i plus 8i, that's positive 4i. And honestly, that's it. That's pretty much one of the easiest things you'll do in this. I mean, sometimes, I think somebody mentioned today, oh, look at this 14. Right. What's 3? Take away 3. Nothing. Yeah? What's -6? I add a 6i. Well, that is no I. Bit silly maybe you might think about that, but if I have to write it, it's 0. I mean, there's nothing there. That is just everything's gone. It's 0. But if I have to write it like in that form, all right, a number, a real number with the complex part, with the imaginary part, then it is 0 plus 0i. Okay, you know, A plus B I. Okay, that's the form we kind of write these complex numbers in. Bit silly really, but you know, that's just it. You're just adding like terms. Okay. Now, okay, multiplication. So this is where you might end up with I squareds. So an x times an x is an x squared. Great. Okay. But an I times an I, which is an I squared, is -1. So just remember that. Maybe write it over here. It should be big, big, big. I squared equals -1. Right. What's 12i times -8i? That's -96i squared. All right. 12 times -8 and I times I. So -96i squared. But the I squared is a -1. So what you're saying is what's -96 times -1? It's positive 96. So I think some of you might be able to realise that shortcuts is an I squared will just change the sign of things because it's a -1. So you're changing something from a positive to a negative, or from a negative to a positive. So look at this next one. Okay, -11 times. Okay, so I can see two negatives here, which means it's going to be positive. No, it's not. It's going to change back because I can see an I squared. So if I write it as it is, -11 times -3 is positive 33. I times I is I squared. But the I squared is -1, so it's going to be -33. 33 times -1, okay? You know, little things like distributive laws, so just do the same thing for all of these. I'm just going to kind of pause the video there, so I'll kind of stop that one and then just do what you might see on the test, okay? So I'll do some of the bigger ones, the foils, later on, but remember that I squared, okay?